Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we were taking a time machine back to a decade that literally rewired the world, the 1990s. It was the era of grunge music, baggy jeans, and a strange, magical new frontier that was just beginning to open up to the masses, the internet. Think about it. Before the 90s, if you wanted to talk to someone far away, you wrote a letter or made an expensive long-distance call. If you needed information, you went to a library. The idea of having the world's knowledge and a global communication network at your fingertips was pure science fiction. But that's exactly what started to happen. The story of the 90s internet isn't just about technology. It's about a cultural revolution. It began with the screeching, beeping symphony of a dial-up modem. Remember that sound? It was the sound of anticipation, the portal opening to a new dimension. You'd tie up your family's phone line for hours, patiently waiting for a single image to load, line by painstaking line. It seems absurd now, but back then, it was magic. So what was this new World Wide Web? In the early days, it was a pretty wild west. Websites were simple, often with clashing neon colors, blinking text, and those cheesy under-construction GIFs. But beneath the primitive design was a powerful idea: hypertext. The ability to click a link and instantly jump to another document, another idea, another place. It was a non-linear way of exploring information that our brains had never experienced before. Suddenly, communication became instantaneous and global. Email, or electronic mail, went from being a niche tool for academics and government to something your aunt could use. You got your first email address, something quirky like Skaterboy82 or CoolCat95 at Hotmail or AOL. You'd get that iconic notification, "You've got mail." It was a thrill, a digital letter just for you. Then came the chat rooms and instant messengers like ICQ and AIM. For the first time, you could have real-time conversations with people across the globe. You'd spend hours talking to strangers who shared your obscure hobbies, whether it was collecting Beanie Babies or debating episodes of The X-Files. These weren't just chat rooms. They were the first digital tribes, communities forming around shared interests, completely independent of geography. It was a profound shift in how we socialized. But the web wasn't just for chatting. It was becoming a repository for, well, everything. Search engines like AltaVista, Lycos, and a little later, a new player called Google, began the monumental task of indexing the web. You could type in a question and get answers, not always the best answers, but it was a start. This was the birth of the information age. No longer did you have to rely on an encyclopedia printed years ago. You had access to a living, breathing library that was constantly growing. And of course, where there are people, there's commerce. The mid to late 90s saw the dawn of e-commerce. Companies like Amazon, which started as an online bookstore, and eBay, a digital auction house, proposed a radical idea. What if you could buy and sell things without ever leaving your house? People were skeptical at first. Put my credit card information online? Are you crazy? But the convenience was undeniable. This laid the groundwork for the trillion-dollar digital economy we live in today. The 90s also gave us our first taste of digital creativity and self-expression. People started building their own personal homepages on sites like GeoCities. They were like digital dioramas of our lives, filled with our favorite songs, pictures of our pets, and lists of our favorite things. They might look amateurish now, but they were the ancestors of today's blogs, social media profiles, and personal brands. It was the first time ordinary people could broadcast their thoughts and creativity to a potential global audience. Let's not forget the dot-com bubble. Towards the end of the decade, the excitement reached a fever pitch. Investors poured billions of dollars into any company with a .com in its name, convinced the internet was a golden ticket. Many of these companies had no real business plan and flamed out spectacularly. But the crash didn't kill the internet. It cleared the way for the sustainable, world-changing companies that would follow. It was a necessary, if painful, correction. Looking back, the rise of the internet in the 1990s was so much more than just a technological advancement. It was a fundamental shift in the human experience. It democratized information, redefined community, and created a new digital civilization. The seeds planted with those screeching modems and clunky websites grew into the interconnected world we now take for granted. Every time you stream a movie, video call a friend, or learn a new skill online, you're living in the future that the 90s built. It was a decade of digital pioneers, and we're all citizens of the world they discovered. What was your first experience with the internet? What was your first email address or screen name? I'd love to hear your memories in the comments below. It's fascinating to see how far we've come. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. See you in the next video.